Our project was about teacher accountability in 6 countries, where we reanalyzed some of the data that were collected in earlier studies to understand why teachers respond to external accountability differently, some taking a compliant orientation that's not conducive to student learning, while others were taking a more professional approach and really reinterpreting some of the external standards and expectations to make them work for their students. And we wanted to understand what made teachers respond so differently.
In my study, we looked specifically at accountability in a very innovative approach to secondary education in rural areas of Honduras. The approach is known as the Sistema de Aprendizaje Tutorial. And some of the reasons why it's innovative is that it has a curriculum that's very appropriate for rural context. We've also done previous studies that show that learning outcomes in the SAT program are actually higher than traditional rural schools. So we knew that something really interesting and innovative was happening in these spaces. And what we did with our RLO study was to try to better understand what was it that was happening.
If we look at the main themes of our research, which are trust, capacity, and accountability, we can apply those in South Africa to schools, and then based on systems analysis, we can break down the influences of these 3, and where people hope that through education, young people can transcend their origins, which might be quite humble.
The most important finding is that we see variation in how teachers respond to external accountability within schools as well as within countries. And what we see is that a professional orientation towards their accountability really needs capacity building to teach well, to interpret these standards in a more professional manner, a kind of approach that is not standardized. In each of these countries, we've worked with local stakeholders, NGOs, teacher training colleges, school leaders, but also local and national governments to share our findings, to discuss ways in which that could enhance teacher professional development, but also how districts or national governments evaluate schools. Our work has also been used in online training developed by UNESCO, UNICEF, for example. So many ways in which we've tried to improve education across the world, really. Arlo grant has been really helpful. It's not just the funding, it's also the connections, so it's been hugely beneficial to us.
I would say that one of the most important impacts is that it provides a concrete case study that even in a low-income context, we see that a more holistic system of teacher accountability where teachers are treated as professionals is possible. And so generating this information is the most important element of seeing impact in policy down the road.
Ultimately, it's about student learning and ensuring that teachers in their classroom are working with students in a way that would enhance their learning, do well in school, and progress into a working life.